folks, welcome back to the Sleepy Keys Tingle Network. Today on the program, we are going to be showcasing some classy clip-ons. These are all clip-on earrings that are great for business, formal occasions, boats, lounging seaside, taking convertible rides, being checked into a hotel that's nice, you know, and you're going to want to have a collection of clip-on earrings like this so that you can have an assortment of beautiful, dazzling clip-on earrings to choose from for any occasion. Now, before we get started, I don't know if you saw the updated America's Most Wanted episode last week. So Rick has been apprehended, and I don't know, it sounds like there's something with an organized crime syndicate. He's back in New Jersey now, and Nancy, you had to return that counterfeit purse that he gifted you too, isn't that right? Yeah, sorry about that. It was kind of nice. You know, we don't deal with that sort of thing here at the Sleepy Keys Tingle Network. So that has nothing to do with us, just so you know. And yeah, but aside from that, a lot of excitement. You know, I ended up needing just a little time to relax over the weekend, and so you know what I did? I rented a film I hadn't seen before, and it was supposed to be kind of scary, but not too scary, and it was called Tremors. Have you seen that one? Yeah. Bruce, you've seen it. Barbara, not for you. Yeah, okay. Well, anyways, I don't want to spoil it, but I do want to tell you about it because I think it might be the greatest movie that I've ever seen in my entire life. I wish I was exaggerating. So, okay, without giving it away, basically, there's a small town. It's out in the west, okay? Very dry, desert area. So think sand, think a lot of sun, right? And a lot of sand. Keep that in mind. Desert, sand, stuff. And, there's some local yokels in the town. One of which is a fella who's played by Kevin Bacon. Was in the Footloose. I get Footloose and Flashdance. I don't know how I got that confused. Anyways, really good dancer though, right? And basically, there's a scientist, and she's out there in the desert, and she's doing some research. There's some scientific research that's happening out in this desert that's close to this small town. And so she's out there doing research. She's getting some interesting readings, sort of like the seismology, where they have the talk about the earthquakes and and it's like it's this number, and that's how they can measure. And there's a little graph, the graph that's like, so whenever there's an earthquake or there's some sort of tectonic plate shifts, things like that, and that graph's going to have a lot of activity, right? Anyway, so it's showing some activity, and it's kind of suspicious, right? Anyways, time passes, not spoiling anything, but there are, as it turns out, these creatures, and the creatures are under the sand, under the desert, and you can kind of get a reading of these creatures from the same thing that reads for the earthquakes. So, anyways, she's getting a heads up that there's some activity going on. Then, creature makes an appearance. I don't want to spoil what happens. It's a little scary, but it turns out that these creatures are sensitive to certain things. So there are ways that you can avoid having these things pop out at you, right? And anyways, the point is, I'm finishing up, Barbara. Hold on. The point is, basically, you've got a whole townspeople of different backgrounds, and in their very small community, and they have to all come together to figure out a way to outsmart and not be not see an untimely demise from these creatures that are in the ground, right? And I think that's why I loved it so much, because it's really a story that sounds like it's scary, right? But in fact, it's a story of the townspeople coming together as a community to really fight for their lives. Again, no spoilers. And it's got Reba McEntire, and I love her. And she's in it. And there's some other scenes where they're kind of there's a lot of action, but it's honestly very heartwarming when a community can come together to fight evil, right? And I think that's why I just think it's a great story and a really good film, and I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. Again, it's called Tremors. And it's a little bit scary, but it's not too scary, because you know how I am about that. I don't want anything too scary. So, anyways, give that a try and rent that from the video store if you haven't yet seen it, because you will be in for a treat. And honestly, perhaps even some inspiration to then make sure you're connecting with your community members and get to know your community, so you can fight against evil worms, if that's what you want to call them, these alien worms, these things that are underneath the surface that come up trying to get you. Anyways, all right, back to it, Barbara says. Here we go. Classy clip-ons. Gosh, I'm already seeing a lot of shine. And I don't think there's anything that, to me, embodies class more than gold tone sparkling in the sunlight, or the moonlight, or the street light, or not so much the overhead light in an office with those tubes. I don't care for that. But look at that. Look at these beautiful clip-on earrings. I want to start with my favorite pair. Yeah. Look. Have you ever seen something quite as classy as this clip-on? You've got here a gorgeous enamel black shiny finish, and then this accent of a beautiful gold tone stripe that's going through. It has sort of a teardrop shape, which I would consider a teardrop shape to be one of the top 3 classy shapes that I can think of. You've got big circle, class, teardrop shape, yes. I'm gonna say a small circle, and then maybe cube is a good shape too. All right, yeah, and Bruce, if I could get you to zoom in here. Look, the way that it's a mix of enamel, gold tone shine, and my favorite, rhinestones. That makes this the classiest and most standout pair of clip-on earrings in our classic clip-on set. So, you're probably wondering how many rhinestones there are. I don't think that should be a determining factor on whether or not you order this perfect classic clip-on set, but I'll count them for you anyways. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 gorgeous rhinestones on these beautiful clip-on earrings. Now, you can kind of see not with this outfit so much, but you can kind of see how this is a great clip-on earring for your leopard prints, right? I could see it going well with giraffe, mainly because of that teardrop shape, kind of mimics, you know, giraffe's spot, maybe. Leopard, giraffe, cheetah, perhaps cheetah, or plain black dress. More than anything else, I can see these being a real standout for a pantsuit. Now, it could be a pantsuit that has a little bit of color to it. I would say no, not a wild pattern, because an earring like this already adds a lot of interest. So something that's a little bit more of a basic pattern. And you could wear these. They can only be worn in one configuration. So that's the thing about clip-on earrings. You clip them on in the direction in which the clip adheres, right? So for these, they have to face upright in a traditional teardrop shape, just like that. I don't think that's a problem. In fact, I think it's how they should go. If they were like this, no, it doesn't make sense to have all that weight at the top, because that's not going to draw attention up to the eyes. You know how important that is with a piece of jewelry. So the ear's here, right? This is on the lobe, not in but on, because it's a clip-on. And your eye is going to follow this. First thing you're going to see is this beautiful sparkle and shine from the rhinestones, and then the weight of the shape on the bottom plus the rhinestones leading up the viewer to look at your eye and say, wow, gosh, those are some beautiful eyes you have. So that's why you'd want to have it in this orientation anyways, right? It just looks right. It's a little sad. I don't know. So this is just our first pair, but obviously probably one of the most beautiful pairs of classy clip-on earrings that I've ever seen in my time at the Sleepy Keys Tingle Network. So that's number one. And kind of while we're on it, we've got this interesting set here. And there's something about the way that this circular shape with different patterns around the edge really make it a stunning, beautiful design. Look at that. So there you can see here, we've got a beautiful gold, gold tone outer kind of circle here. And then it goes into this lovely textured pattern around the inside. Then, here's where things get really exciting. There are little yellow beads on this next layer. You might think, oh, it's just like another gold piece. It adds another element of richness to these earrings to have the gold beads. It's not all metal. You've got metal, gold toned, and then you've got beadwork mixed in. So there's a lot going on here, but I think that's what makes these so beautiful. Now, the beadwork in here consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. 38 of these delicate yellow beads. And then a large black bead on the top. So I feel like it really rounds these out to have the gold tone shapes, almost like a floral, into textured, into yellow beaded, into the black middle, to really round it out. So it's a beautiful design. It's got a shine to it from the gold tone finish, and then a little bit of light will catch the facets of these enamel black beads. So it's got, but it's not an in-your-face sparkle either. So it's a little bit more subdued. But again, still looks great with the leopard and black pantsuits. I could see this also being with like a linen dress, right? Something like that. Then we have a classic. Gosh, look at that. It's a very shiny, gold-plated clip-on, but with an interesting sort of divot to it, right? So it doesn't just sit flat. If this was just a gold disc, it wouldn't have the same sort of interest and light dancing on it if it was just flat. You would just have that one sort of angle where light would catch it, bam. But this, you look at it and you're thinking, oh, is that like is that an extra shape on it, or just the way it's really picking up the light is something else. This one seems sort of like there's been a little fingerprint indentation put into it. Like someone's gifted you some of those worry stones. Now, I do think these are really great for everyday wear. I said these are classy clip-ons, but they don't have to only be for classy occasions. You could easily wear these to the supermarket. You could easily wear these going to the bank. I could see these being a great go-to earring when you just need to throw something on and you're going to the car dealership because you're going to buy an automobile or something like that. Yeah, that could work, because these will give you the confidence at the auto dealership to say, don't mess with me. I know a thing or two. I've read Consumer Reports, so I know what to expect. I know what's a good deal and what's not. And I will surely take my business elsewhere if I feel like there's any funny business going on or you're trying to get one over on me, right? Confidence in clip-on earring form. That's what these are. So, beautiful discs. Delightful, classy discs. But now we're going to get into something that's, I would consider a little bit more of the, oh gosh, the evening, the special occasion clip-on. Now, I'm not a princess or dignitary, but if I was, I'm going to be wearing these earrings. Look at this. Now, perhaps you've seen some beaded clip-on earrings before. I don't think you've seen them like this before. Look. The way that these clip-on earrings have a beautiful collection of bauble beads is something else. We've got this lovely seafoam color. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Seafoam. 1, 2, 3. Well, all in all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 beautiful beads on one clip-on earring. It's a matte seafoam bead. And then it goes from matte seafoam bead to the beautiful iridescent, colorful, light-catching little plastic beads. They look like glass beads, but they are in fact plastic. So, and they are different shapes. And I really like how it's somewhat of a conical shape that's facing out, because that's really catching the light nicely. Look at that. So, this kind of bead, so these earrings, again, I'm seeing these as being special occasion. But I'm also seeing them as being a great option for any time in season. Specifically, if I had to pick, because of the seafoam color, immediately I'm thinking this is a summer clip-on. Sea, beach, blue, sky, etc. But I could also see it being a formal winter earring. Because it's got almost like a snowflake sort of winter wonderland magical feeling about it. But then again, I'm also thinking that's more of a sea ocean themed because of the blue, and it's almost feeling like a little bit more of a mermaid's earring. And I think we all need some more mermaid earrings in our lives, right? At that whimsy. Either way, I can see this spring, summer, fall, winter, morning, noon, night, day, evening, midday, lunch, breakfast, dinner, solstice, winter, all of it, all year round. Beautiful, beautiful, classy clip-on earrings. I haven't seen anything quite like this before on the Sleepy Keys Tingle Network, so just keep that in mind. We've also got these classy white and beaded, almost like pearls, but it's not pearls. I think that's what's helpful about having clip-on earrings like this, because you don't need to worry about them as much as your fine pearls or your diamonds or your diamondesques, because these do have rhinestones on them. So you've got the sparkle, and then they've got the shiny sort of matte pearl collection on here, then the beads, and then more shiny bits. And I feel like that gives them such a beautiful glistening look. And I think you'll want to wear these again. I'm still getting that sort of like a winter look from these. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I know they're clip-on earrings, and you're thinking, oh well, they're just gonna fall out of my ears. No, these are secure clip-on earrings. Listen, hear that clip? That's a secure clip. All of these earrings have secure clips, so you're not going to need to worry about them falling out of your ears. But they also have comfort bags, so you're not going to be pinching your ears into oblivion, where all you can think about is, gosh, this is pinching my ears. I got to get these off right away. No, not with these. Not with these clip-on earrings. Look at that. Pull this through here. Secure clip. Do you hear that? Secure clip. And that's got that comfort back on it as well. And look, it's easy to get them to clip. Look, they've got this has the comfort. This has a little comfort backing on it as well. And so it's not going to be pinching your ears, metal on earlobe, right? Got a quiet close. Very easy to open and close, even with my nails. So, folks, this is really a treasure trove of classy earrings. But I also want you to understand that it's okay to think outside of the earlobe when it comes to clip-ons. Look, I'm mixing them up. I don't know which one I'm going to put on, but it could be a situation where I've got the white baubles in one ear and then the blue in the other. And that's really going to be a great conversation starter, right? Someone say, oh, you've got two different clip-on earrings. And you say, oh, do I? Well, that's because I couldn't choose between either one, and so I decided to wear both. Or I wanted to show this side of my head with the blue, and this side really brings out the whites of my eyes. I don't know. Or it could be something where you've got the big circular kind of shape and then the teardrop. Very avant-garde. You know, we like to always try that on the Sleepy Keys Tingle Network. But here's where things get really exciting, because as it turns out, clip-on earrings are not just for your ears. I don't know if you've seen this before, but you can also clip them on to your hats, to your pockets, or your sleeves, or as like an additional charm on a charm bracelet. Look at this. Look. If I was to grab this, I can get my bracelet here. Look, I might take that. I'm going to clip it right there. Wow. Now I've added a lot of interest where there was already some interest, but now there's a lot of interest. Look at that. It's like a whole new bracelet. All I did was put a clip-on earring on it. I know. And then here's something else you can try. I'm going to take this ring off here. And I've got this ring. It's pretty small. Little diamond on it. A little diamond-esque. What I'm going to do with this ring is take it from blah to wow. actually going to turn that upside down. I'm taking the clip-on earring here, clasping it closed, and bam! Look, all of a sudden I'm wearing a beautiful cocktail ring. Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, I've got a cocktail ring. Can you believe that? It's so easy, too. And look, it was on there securely, but I'm taking it off. Maybe I want to wear a cocktail ring on this finger. Open it up. Clip it closed. Bam! Oh my goodness. I'm going to get so many compliments on this. And when folks ask me, I'm going to say, oh, this cocktail ring, actually, it's my diamond-esque ring turned upside down with a clip-on earring. It's very revolutionary and very versatile. And it's really a way that you can take your jewelry wardrobe, if you will, and turn it into a number of decorative and fun pieces that you can wear every day. So, there is my cocktail ring. But I'm just getting started because I mentioned shoes, right? I just want to see what this one looks like real quick. Oh, I didn't mention shoes. I mentioned pants, hats, scarves. That's all pretty basic. Like, you could take this, close it up on a scarf. Yeah, very elegant. Very businesswoman. Look at this boring white pump. Never seen anything so boring. Now, I could leave it this way, but maybe I have a special occasion later. Maybe I'm going to going on a nice date. Watch me turn this simple white pump into an elegant brand new shoe. Look, now it's got sparkle and shine. Look, I've just turned this simple white pump into a brand new, elegant, bejeweled shoe. You ever seen anything so cute? No, probably not. What if instead I took that same classy clip-on earring and I attached it to the heel? Wow. Look, and then every time I'm walking, someone's behind me and they're gonna see a beautiful, glistening gem on the back of my shoe. It's really gonna pick up the rhinestones on the side here, right? That's gonna look nice. And it's only going to dig into the back of my heel a little bit. So it's worth it. Worth it. But that's just one way. You could have a boring white shoe. And then you add a little something. Look. Wow. That just turned this into an evening shoe. This turned this basic white pump into a high-end evening wear shoe. Sure did. Yeah, I bet you could do something. Now this is a clog, a little dated, you know. They're coming back though. They're coming back. So what if I had a clog like this, but I wanted to elevate that? Now this clip is fine, right? It's got the silver kind of tones to it. Now none of these are silver tone, but what I could do, once my shoe is secured, look, I've got this little flap here. What am I going to do with that? What am I going to do with this flap? I could add a clip-on earring. Now imagine this is securely fastened to my ankle, but then you have this fun clip-on earring that's just clipped on the side. Now, you know, walking, if you're dancing, clip-on earrings aren't necessarily going to stay on quite as well, so keep that in mind. But there's an idea. And you could do that on the top here too. I think it looks nice. It's glistening. It will dig into the top of your foot ever so slightly, but not very much. Nothing to get upset about. Worth it for this beautiful, beautiful gem on the top. And then folks, everyone's got penny loafers, right? But penny loafers, what are you going to do with that when you don't have any pennies? And who really wants a penny loafer? I want $1 million loafer. So what I would do instead, take the earring, go into the loafer zone. Wow. That just took this from boring shoe to standout showstopper. From shoe to show, right? And it's pretty secure in there. And the thing about the penny loafer or the shoes that have sort of openings like this in them and such, it's a lot easier to have more of the comfort when you're doing the clip-ons in these because it's not directly touching your foot underneath. But again, worth it. Worth it for that big style. And then it's not even leaving any marks. It's not permanent. You could change it every day. It's not a permanent look. It's not damaging the leathers or suedes or pleathers and plastics. So, yeah, something to keep in mind. Now, Nancy, can you model this for me? I want to see what it looks like in action. Yeah, here. Do me a favor, and I want you to clip these on to your sandals. Yeah, here you go. Oh, wow, Nancy, that's so stunning. At first you were just wearing boring old white open-toed sandals, and now you're really wearing an elegant shoe. Just one question, what's with the socks? You look ridiculous. Oh. Nancy says, no one sees these Tootsies for free. I don't know. Okay. All right. Well, that's it. That's the showcase of beautiful, dazzling, classy clip-ons from the Sleepy Keys Tingle Network. You're not going to see a deal like this anywhere else because you get this whole set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 earrings, 10 pieces in total when you count how you can wear them as separate things. This set, yours today for $59.99. Okay, and sounds like Barbara says we've got a caller. Okay. Yeah, caller, go ahead.
Hi, this is Jessica calling from Kalispell, Montana. Yeah. I just called to say that I did track and field all 4 years in high school, and I also did the pole vaulting. And I saw Tremors, and I just felt like it was pretty far-fetched that they would all know how to use proper form and do pole vaulting from the rock to rock scene. You know what I'm talking about. And the fact that I know it wasn't probably Kevin Bacon, but they would need to use a stunt double because that's actually pretty dangerous just for the everyday person to try and do that kind of pole vaulting. Plus, how did they find the perfectly sized poles or sticks out in the middle of the desert? It just doesn't really make sense to me. But I still think it's a pretty good movie. Oh, and then for clip-on earrings, sometimes I like to clip them onto my nose. All right, thanks. Bye.
Well, thank you so much for calling. So don't wait to call because this offer is not going to last. So do give us a call soon. Sleepy Keys Tingle Network, the classy clip-on collection, yours today for $59.99.